Today I'm going to break it down exactly how a brand new agent can go from zero to $10,000 a month. And I'm not going to give you some motivational speech about believing in yourself. I'm going to give you the actual system because success comes from systems, not luck. First, a little bit about where I'm coming from. I've been in this business long enough to watch agents show up on day one with all the energy in the world and then disappear 6 months later with nothing to show for it. And the ones who disappear weren't less talented than the ones who made it. They just didn't have a plan. They had enthusiasm, they had a license, but they did not have a system. And without a system, you're just reacting to whatever comes at you every single day. So let's talk about what $10,000 a month actually looks like, because most agents throw that number around without ever doing the math. And if you don't do the math, it's just a dream. It's not a goal. In any market, let's say the average home price is $250,000. After your broker split, after your team split, and if you're on a team, after all the fees and everything is said and done, you're probably walking away with somewhere around $3,000 per transaction. That means you need 3 to 4 closings a month to hit $10,000. Now I know what you're thinking. 3 to 4 closes a month as a brand new agent? That sounds impossible. But stay with me, because when you reverse engineer the numbers, it gets a lot more manageable than you think. See, you don't wake up in the morning and say, I need to close 4 deals today. That's not how it works. You wake up and you say, I need to have 10 conversations today. That's it. This is your only job, because here's how the math breaks down. For every 10 real conversations you have, I mean real conversations, not text, not DMs, actual voice-to-voice or face-to-face interactions, you're going to get about 1 appointment. And for every 3 appointments, you're going to get 1 closing. So if you're having 10 conversations a day, 5 days a week, that's 50 conversations a week. That's roughly 5 appointments a week. And out of those 5 appointments, you're closing 1 to 2 deals. You do that consistently for a full month, and you're right there at $10,000 a month. But here's where most agents mess the whole thing up. This is the part nobody wants to hear. You're spending more time planning your business than actually working it. Real talk. You're tweaking your CRM, which is your customer relations management system. You're designing your logo. You're picking your brand colors. You're setting your Instagram grid to look aesthetic. And meanwhile, you have not taken a single potential client this week, not one. You're consuming content instead of creating conversations. And I get it, because I've seen it happen 100 times. You feel busy, you feel productive, but activity is not the same as productivity. Designing a logo never closed a deal. And the other trap I see constantly is agents are trying to do everything all at once. Monday you're cold calling. Tuesday you're filming a reel. Wednesday you're door knocking in some random neighborhood that you've never been in before. Tuesday you're exhausted and doing nothing. And by Friday you're sitting on the couch wondering if real estate even works. It does work, but not like that. That's not a strategy. That's chaos. What I want you to do instead is pick 1 lead generation method, just 1, and commit to it every single day for 90 days. I don't care if it's open houses, cold calling expires, FISBOs, or door knocking, or content creation. Pick 1 and go so deep on it, you become the most disciplined agent in your office at that one thing. Because depth beats width every single time when you're starting from zero. An agent who does 40 open houses in 90 days is going to have a full pipeline. An agent who did 5 open houses, 8 cold calls, 3 TikToks, and 2 door knocks has a bunch of half starts and nothing in the pipeline to show for it. Now if you're asking me, What would I choose if I started over with absolutely nothing? No sphere of influence, no social media following, no budget. It's open houses. I already know what you're thinking. You're thinking, I don't have any listings. You don't need them. Call every listing agent in your office tomorrow morning and say, hey, I'd love to host your open house this weekend. I'll handle the signs, the setup, the follow-up, everything. You don't have to lift a finger. You're solving their problems and building your business at the same time. But here's where most new agents get stuck with open houses and they get them completely wrong. They put out the sign, they sit at the kitchen table, they hand out business cards, and they wait for somebody to call them. That's not a strategy. That's a yard sale. When somebody walks through that door, your only job is to have a real conversation. Find out why they're looking. Ask if they're working with an agent and get their phone number. Not by being pushy, but by genuinely being useful and valuable. Say something like, hey, I'd be happy to send you a list of other homes in this price range that just came on the market. What's the best number to text you to? Now you have a lead. You do that 5 to 10 times every single weekend, and within 30 days, you'll have a pipeline that most agents take an entire year to build. And here's something I want you to do and understand about those open house leads that most agents completely overlook. This connects directly to what I teach about the investor filter. While you're running those open houses, pay attention to who's coming through. Are they first-time home buyers driven by emotion, looking for their forever home? Or are they investors running numbers in their head, calculating cap rates? This matters because if you understand who your buyer is, you can have a completely different conversation. You can position yourself as someone who actually understands the market, not just someone who unlocked the front door. This is the difference between an order taker and a strategic advisor. That reputation is what gets you referrals. Now, let me talk to you about the part of this business that nobody makes videos about, the emotional side. Because you're gonna have weeks where nothing happens. No callbacks, no appointments, no closes. And during those weeks, you're going to open Instagram and see some other agent posting their sold sign with a big smile. And you're going to wonder, what is wrong with me? Nothing is wrong with you. This is the business. Every successful agent you follow went through the exact same stretch of silence before things clicked. The difference is they didn't quit during the process. On the money side, this is critical. Keep your expenses as low as humanly possible in the first 6 months. You do not need a $500 a month CRM right now. You do not need $2,000 coaching program before you even close your first deal. You do not need a professional headshots before you even had your first listing appointment. What you need is a phone, a free or a cheap CRM, gas in your car, and the discipline to do the daily work. That's it. Protect your bank account and protect your energy, because those are the only two things that keep you in the game long enough till you actually win. Let me tie all this together into a 90-day plan you can start tomorrow morning. Days 1 through 30. Pick your one lead generation method. Start having 10 conversations a day before you open your email. Do not let the other people dictate your morning. Host at least one open house every weekend and set up a follow-up system, even if you just get a Google spreadsheet with names, phone numbers, and the last time you contacted them. Days 30 through 60, by now you should have 20 to 30 people in your pipeline. Your job shifts from just generating new leads to nurturing the ones you already have. Follow up every 40 maybe you have 48 hours with your hot leads every week with your warm ones, and book your first listing appointment on your buyer consultation. Some of these conversations from month one are going to start turning into a real business. Days 60 through 90, this is where the compound effect kicks in. The people you talk to in week 1 and 2 are now ready to move. The open house visitors from 4 weeks ago are calling you back. And you should be closing at or about 1 or 2 of those deals in the first month or 2, depending on how well you stack your pipeline, okay? I want to be honest with you. This is not complicated, but it is hard. Not because the strategy is difficult, but because most people will not do it consistently. They'll try it for 2 weeks, get discouraged, and then when nothing closes immediately, they'll go back to scrolling their phone and wonder why business isn't coming to them. The agents who hit $10,000 a month are not the smartest agents in the room. They're not the most connected. They're the ones who did the boring work every single day when nobody was watching and nobody was clapping for them. Think about the compound effect. If you have 10 conversations for 90 days, that's 900 conversations. 900 people who know your name, know you're in real estate, and know you're someone who actually follows up. That's more market presence than most agents build in their entire first year. And it all started with 10 conversations before you opened your email. So, if this blueprint made sense to you and you feel like you actually have a plan now, subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to keep breaking down exactly what it takes to build a real estate business from the ground up. Step by step, system by system. Drop a comment below and tell me which lead generation method you're committing to for the next 90 days. I want to know, and I'm going to check back in on you. And if you know another new agent right now who's feeling stuck or overwhelmed, send them this video. Sometimes the difference between somebody quitting and somebody breaking through is just having the right plan at the right time. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.